Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Emilio. Welcome back to another video and shit. In this one, we're going to be going over some of my different settings. We're gonna hop into a training so I can just quickly kind of run through things with you guys. I feel like this is a video that every standoff player, at least one that makes content, needs to make. So we're gonna get it out of the way. I'm gonna run through the different settings that I have and also just explain kind of the way I play. I don't know if it's the best, but if it helps some of you guys that are just getting started, then great, mission accomplished. So first things first, if we go into our settings under general, I like to play on the classic view model. The standard is just kind of big and awkward if you ask me. Honestly, this is something that I really wish Standoff had more customization with, would be being able to change your view model more, whether it be like the distance or the position left and right of the gun, and also your hands in the view model and shit. I really wish that they would allow for more customization than just like two modes, but I choose to play on the classic one because it puts your gun off to the side. It's more out of the way, better visibility, and also for me, just like I feel like it makes the guns look better. For HUD visibility, I have it on, obviously. Switch to the picked up weapon. You definitely want to turn this off. Basically, it avoids you automatically switching to whatever gun you pick up. So it's like if you have no weapon and you pick up an AK, or if you pick up like a pistol, you'll have the pistol and you're equipped. And then if you run over another gun, it'll switch even if you're like firing or fighting somebody or doing something. So you definitely want to turn that off. I do have the FPS counter and battery and network connection on. Doesn't really make any difference. The biggest thing that I look at that for is just like the internet connection mostly. I'm from NA, so I have generally pretty bad ping, but it's nice to have like a visual confirmation of that, I guess. In-game notification, stuff like that doesn't matter all too much. So let's jump into the video settings. So I have everything on low. I'm playing on an iPhone 16 Pro Max, so generally, like graphics wise, it can handle probably a little bit more, but I didn't really find any benefit visually to having it be higher. I like to try to optimize for performance, but also like have things look good enough to where you can actually enjoy the game. So before I was playing, I don't have it with me anymore, but I used to play, before I got this phone, which was literally like a couple weeks ago, I was playing on an iPhone 11. So on that one, I would have to have everything on very low. I'd have to run like 40 or 60 FPS, whatever the lowest one was, 60, just to like, cause my device couldn't handle it. So I would recommend going with like something that makes the game look good, which I think low graphics, you still get the details and stuff in the skins and the maps and the character models. Adding things to medium or high, I feel like doesn't really add that much to your like performance. Is more just like a quality of life thing. So I keep everything on low graphics wise. Anti-aliasing and anisotropic filtering, whatever that is disabled for both. And target FPS is really probably the one setting that you're gonna notice the single biggest difference as far as performance and like gameplay. I have mine set to 120. This was the game changer, honestly. Like going from a crappier older device to this one, the biggest thing is being able to run a slightly higher graphics settings with 120 FPS. 120 FPS like is the game changer for me. I feel like it makes the game so much smoother. When you're moving around, your character model, like the crosshair movement, everything just feels so much smoother on 120. So that's probably the single most impactful like game changing setting. And then the last one here, the direction of killed characters. Basically that will eliminate bodies. So like if there's a dead player that's on the map and you turn away from them and then turn back, like their player model, their body is gone. This just saves like a little bit of load as far as like the graphics on your device from having to render all of the bodies on the map, teammates and enemies. So having that turned off is good. Generally speaking, you're still able to like, the only reason why I would argue for having it on is to like know where people died so you can go and like pick up nades or do other things. But once you play the game for long enough, you have like a general kind of game sense and you can still see the items and stuff on the ground. So it's really not that important. So I turned it off. As far as my controls, I have things on iPhone for buttons, obviously. My sensitivity, I left it as default. So like, I'm pretty sure anyone that opens up the app is gonna have these settings. Sensitivity is something that you really wanna customize for you, but I have the same scope and regular sensitivity. I have one acceleration, and then aim smoothing is turned all the way up. For crosshair, these are the settings. I basically have like a green plus. I've run the straight up dot crosshair. I've run bigger line crosshairs. I switch it up every once in a while, but generally I always have it on static. I switch between colors. I make the gap bigger or smaller, make the lines bigger or smaller. Generally, after I play for like a month or so on one crosshair, your eyes kind of start to become numb to it. So I've found that if your aim starts to get really bad, or like you're not hitting headshots, or generally just like you find the game kind of visually unstimulating, switching your crosshair can like force your eyes to readjust and like make more conscious decisions about where you're placing your crosshair. So if you feel like your aim is getting sloppy, try just like tweaking the color or changing a little bit of the settings of your crosshair. It'll force your brain to kind of like recalibrate and just like start like actually thinking about your aim and like consciously aiming again. So that's one thing that I do from time to time, but generally this crosshair that I have right now is the one that I stick with the most. I'll show you guys just my button layout. I do not play claw. I actually play with like my 2 thumbs and this finger. So like I have my joystick that I'm moving my character with. I have this finger that's tap to shoot, and then I have this finger that's aim, switch weapons, and switch nades. I could probably be better if I played claw. I know a lot of people play claw. I could never get comfortable with having 4 fingers on it. I don't know. It never felt comfortable to me. I always just use my 2 thumbs, so like they were joysticks on the screen essentially. So this is my button layout. You can see it right here, you know, weapons and grenades in the top right, so I can cycle through those quickly. I've got my jump button and aiming button on the right side, and then everything is like kind of big and very easy to find. And this is just the setup that felt comfortable for me. Back in the day, if any of you guys ever played Modern Combat, that was like the first iOS FPS game that I played, and this was like my loadout or like my settings as far as my like controls for that game. So I've just like played the way like this exact setup as far as the layout, the buttons, where everything is. I've played iOS games, FPS games with this layout forever, so like this is just what's comfortable for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Those are my settings. Let me know if you guys use anything different down below. There really isn't a ton of customization in this game. It's really just making sure that you're balancing, you know, graphics with performance and kind of just maxing out what your device is capable of. The biggest limiting factor for a lot of you guys, especially if you're from the United States like me, is probably just going to be ping. Like the servers in this game kind of determine how your experience goes in some of the times. But yeah, those are my settings. Hope you guys liked this video, found it helpful. Let me know what other settings you guys would change or tweak to improve your game. I'll have some tips and tricks videos coming out very soon about like different ways to play, different maps, different guns, stuff like that. So this was kind of like the first video in the series of like general kind of tips and tricks. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.